But anyway, so far in this game, I'm up at get my character level up to like level 20. And I was just looking at a lot of things. I was learning a lot of things. I actually learned some other moves in here that I didn't understand how to unlock, but I figured it out. Figured it out. But there's things in this game. It's wild. I mean, it's actually a pretty good game. So I, like I said, it's free to play. I think everybody should just get involved. It's not a bad game at all. It has some pretty good elements. Hey, the things that I was learning out here. Okay, I learned like even with the equipment, man, like you got ranges all the way from D to A, and that's how that actually operates. But I was also looking at like even if you're slotting in material to actually take a piece of armor that's B upgrade and move it up, you know, even when I turned it over into epic, it's still a B grade epic. So I see that there's you know, there's some leveling up in this situation that I'd say that you're probably gonna have to hunt around to get to A grade epic. I don't know. Or I don't know if this B grade epic will ever turn into like a B grade legendary or something of that nature. I wasn't quite certain how that worked. I figured that if you got A through D, as far as the strength of the armor, what class it'll be in or whatever, I figured that it was going from like, you know, D and E, what's the, like E grade, that's right. You have E grade, which is like your common. I figured your D grade, your uncommon, then your C grade was going to be your rare. But stay that way. But I realized that you have B and C that are actually going to stay in your rare range, and you can level those up, and then you might turn something into like a class B, like I did this one. Some of this armor I picked up, I got like regular B class, which turned that epic. Like this is C class, I picked this up. But also, you know, the other aspect of it is like when you're running around in this world, you just start to lock before you run around. Better off things because I think like it's based off of I'd say this game is based off of, let's give or take, it's like playing Destiny, or actually no, it's that, but it's like playing a Division. How about that? That'd be a more simple with that. Division is also based off of your gears. Better equipment that you put on your character, the more you go running out there, you know, the better your gear skill gets, the better that the loot drops off. As you go out to this world, that's just how this actually works. Eventually, I mean, you get certain gear. If you like it, you can keep, you know, upgrading it, fortifying it. Sometimes you can pick up stuff like this that has alright gear skill, but it tells you you cannot be enhanced. And of course, that's like this where it can be enhanced. So you see the fortification level bar that's up underneath it. That's how you know that you can upgrade what you got. Some of this I also know, like in this game in this game you could do things like forge your own armor. can see what's below. Just go ahead and get your stuff. Days that you play in, and get more stuff. Oceans here.
Pretty busy right now.
Okay, I have to explain this one. Like this union merchant I have sitting right here. If you go into unions here, this is you have certain classes, like you got certain society, quarter to ratings. Alright. These are also people that are all over this map. Start talking to. What happens is if you start doing missions for these societies and things like that, you start and what they'll start giving you is like say it's like a type of currency that only that society deals with. So you can see what I have right here. I've got 110 of these things so far. That came from doing missions that they wanted to do for their society. Also ran into the Sentinels. I ran into one of them. I also did a mission with them. Now, I'm not certain what this actually does yet. It may give you some certain skills, like you can see in this picture here where this mage is turning into a box or some off-the-wall shit like that. It's just whatever. This one, this may give you a certain spell, which is talking about you sacrifice half. Which is that's all that allies. This one, I think this one is really done for P versus P. So probably does some improvement stats on that. Not certain. It's interesting. Finding those bag pieces. This is one I definitely stress to everybody. You definitely want to go out there and explore the world and find them damn chests because you want to extend your capacity. You want to improve that bag as much as possible. More than do understand it takes time to sit here and build your character. That's for certain. So what else? Also, my advice in this game is like you uh, I mean, you take your armor that you pick up and like it or really like it. You keep it for the full run. You gotta remember to start picking up some pieces and shards and all kinds of shit so that you can keep leveling it up. Because I'm gonna show you like what happens is after a point is this. You could say, because we're gonna have to go find my little bag. I don't mean the guy that makes my bags. I mean the dude that stores some of your stuff when you're carrying too much shit. Probably the best way to consolidate some of these things. Like, all right.
Take your time. Have a look around.
So what happened is, as you can see, I got more slots extended for my warehouse. Now how that was accomplished is, you just keep playing and you'll pick stuff up. They give you a little, I guess, they give you little curveballs here and there. And you can roll with it. Way to consolidate some of this mess like this armor fortification. So what you can do is alchemy stage. Just get some materials. See if we can grab this. Unfortunately, this sucks.
hub.
Not certain if that actually works to where you can take. Probably works in the same aspect that you can take 10 dudes and make just like I was just talking about before, about account storage and personal storage. Personal storage only applies to the character that you're playing with at the time. Just keep that in mind. Now, your account storage, well, that's your universe. That one applies to, I think, right now, I mean, I got my dude, my daughter has one dude on here that's on my account, and I got an extra slot. Now what that means is this account storage, that applies to all of the characters that you have accumulated. Then you can sit there and you can say, like, the beauty of this, or how it actually works out is, like, you can think about it like, you could definitely think about that like playing Destiny on one aspect. Think about it when you're playing Destiny, you're Titan, you like playing that. You can pick up legendary, epic stuff that's actually for your warlock class, or that's gonna be for your hunter class, which I like to call the assassins. So it doesn't really matter, like in that matter who you're playing with. At times you would pick up legendaries and certain stuff that can't apply to Titan class at all. But you can put that in the vault, save it, and if you decide to fire up your warlock or your hunter class, you sit there and apply that. So it always works. See, the beauty also was that even if you have to think about it on the aspects of Destiny to a degree, because if you're playing with a certain character, like in this, it's a pretty high up level, you're gonna get some very devastating equipment. And even if it doesn't apply to your particular character, you put that in the universal storage bin there, well shit, man. When you fire up your character, you could already start out. I don't care if you say that, let's say that you want to build your ranger, or let's say you want to build your mage. But when you sit there, you put it in that universal storage, you could have some like epic shit in there that you could apply to your mage right offhand. Period. And roll from there, so it can make things a hell of a lot easier for that character. Because one damn thing that does apply is that even though you may have opened the world with one character, you're still gonna have to go through a whole lot of stuff on your new character and run them through the same, run routine. They're not gonna automatically be able to do all of that. You gotta run them through it. Which isn't a bad thing, because what you learned is there might be some better ways to do some things. Maybe some easier ways to make some stuff happen. Some better avenues that you're gonna go down. Because now you have experienced it.
Are you ready to make a purchase?
Now when it comes to enhancing your weapons and stuff like this, there's one damn thing I want people to keep in mind, right? When you're doing some lower level stuff, right, you could do this, right? Like fortifying some of this stuff like this. After you get a couple of, maybe 2 or 3 slots in, then it starts to turn into a roll. I think it's always a roll. It's not really a roll when you do it the first one or the first round. It's not really considered to have to be a roll. But if you read over here, like when you get let's say your equipment gets higher, like it's a B rating class or something like this. Alright, reading these damn things. Sometimes what happens is, you know, like it says right here. These are my gladiator boots +2. Equipment may lose a fortification level on failure. Equipment may be damaged on failure. So, when you start leveling up this equipment, start getting it, start molding it to what you want it. Because the thing I want everybody to understand is you need to pay attention to your armor that you put on it. Because you also want to look at what stats it might have, like increased critical hit rate by 3.47%, right? Or increased experience gain for P versus E, you know, player versus environment, you know, combat 4.4%. Right, see, since I like to play a lot of P versus E, I'll run around in an environment, so I might as well have armor that's gonna be suited for me to run in an environment that'll help me out, which means that'll boost my experience boosters. All right. Now these I just picked up a little while back, but this is for P versus P. You know, this increases your defense when you're sitting here playing against other characters, which could be very valuable. You know. This one right here with these boots, this increases my max stamina, like +3.6%, which is also good because you have stamina that you have to use to perform some of your most powerful moves. Keep it in mind. And this one, right? These gloves right here, these gauntlets, this increases my attack power by +87 points, or hit points, or whatever. You know, you want to pay attention to it. So that's going to add to the armor stats, so that just makes my stuff stronger when I'm hitting. You know, like this one increases the potion buff duration. Certain potions. This one also increases my hit rate. I haven't picked up a necklace yet, but running through the game, I actually picked this up. Which will happen. And that hits my critical hit rate up. Gives me my gold gain +3%, which means that you can pick up a lot more gold, which is good. Now, when you're starting to think about how your stats add up, you got to look all the way over here to this right corner. Right? You got your level, you got your gear score, of course you got your name. I like to use drift out. I'm a Destiny nut, and I always like that drifter shit. So that's why I like to use that in most of my characters builds. Alright. Then you want to look at your character stats over here, like your health, which is like, well, it's pretty good right now. Look at your attack rate. How strong is your attack with your weapon and your shield, because this is what I'm using. Then you also want to look at how you stat up your armor and everything else. Jacks up your defense rate, jacks up your critical crit. You see where those numbers start coming in. My critical hit rate right here, or my critical hit damage. See all that? And when you start scrolling down, like the sword that I have, that's what's increased my defense by +996. That's what that is. My unique shield throws down. See where my armor that I have adds stats. You always want to make sure you got stats that you're adding to your character from whatever armor you decide to mess around with. You always want to make sure there's something there that's going to help you in the game, period. But before, I had some armor in there that elevated what you would call my health points and stuff like that. So, got more health points. It's just a give or take. But you need to pay attention to what armor you're going to be placing on your character and what the stats of that armor are. You know. What are the benefits? You always want to look at the benefits. I mean, hey man, it's like every other game. It's like this. It's always about the benefits of what you're gonna gain if you run with a certain type of armor. Benefits you're gonna gain if you don't run with a certain type of armor. The negatives that you may gain from it. I mean, you could look at it this way. You could have a whole bunch of armor pieces that you stat onto your guy or you put on there that might make your attack rate like absolutely devastating, like Thanos type shit. But if it's not balanced out this way, let's say that you could be ridiculous, but your health point like that might be low. Your health defense might be very sure. You could be staying. You're building a glass. That's what that means. The problem about glass is this. Good. I mean, damn. Because if you think you're not gonna get hit, well, that's a dream. And if you build it like that, sure, you could do some devastation. But you better have your nice team to roll with to do that, because somebody's gonna have to keep fucking healing your ass, because if they don't, that glass cannon shit will not last long.
The stars speak our destiny.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I mean, I think, since we've been ever playing MMOs, role-playing games, or anything that had to do with that you got to build stats, I always took my class and made it well-balanced. Well-balanced is, I'd say well-balanced is the way to go, because when you make any class you have, you keep it well-balanced in between as many stats as possible, you have better chances of survival. So you don't always have to be the most powerful character in your clan or whatever, but if you keep it well balanced, you'll hold your own just fine. What's the point? It's not that you're gonna do the most devastation, but let's say like in certain games, like hell, I'll even look at Black Desert, you know what I'm saying? But if you keep it well balanced, and then you might pick up some devastating weapons, you might stack together a couple earrings that you could build something that's good. You still keep it well balanced, still you can start getting into some good devastation, you know, where you can actually do some damage. You could be DPS very nice, you know. I mean, I think the question of it is, I think the aspect of it is just you want to build up to that DPS. But it's best to keep your characters well balanced so that, you know, they can dish it out, but they can actually take a hit. You know what I'm saying? Because you always look at things like, you have all sides of this spectrum. You got the well balanced, which is, you know, in between DPS and tank. Or you have just extreme DPS, but to be extreme DPS, you gotta give up some things. Or you have extreme tank on the other end of the spectrum. You give up things when you're extreme tank. I mean, you can take a whole lot of hits and a whole lot of damn damage, but you're not really dishing out a whole bunch. But then that also correlates with having a squad or a team. Because if you are, I think we could even go like to Overwatch. If you are going to be the tank is the one that draws all the attention when you fire. That's the truth. That's how that works. But in hand, you gotta have a good team, because listen, yeah, a tank can take a whole lot of damn damage, but here's the problem here. If you motherfuckers ain't defending your damn tank, he or she ain't gonna last long, and that ain't worth a damn. You understand? Period. So, in the end of the aspect, when you roll it that way, somebody gotta be around there healing the tank, while the tank's taking the damn damage, and y'all need to be dishing out as much damage as possible. That's just how that goes. But like in a game like this, though, you could, this is also like on some of the bases like World of Warcraft and things like that. So it's really up to you how you play it, and you roll with a squad, which is good. You can join a house, which isn't bad. You know, I actually joined the house, but I haven't really seen any of the people that, you know, are in the house on here at some of the times that I'm playing. But, you know, it's generally how it goes. Because when you think about it, so you may have people from, you know, since I'm over here and I'm on the East Coast, there's people maybe West Coast, and sometimes when they're out here, I may be asleep by that time, or I'm at work, or I'm playing. Or you may, since you gotta love internet, which is so beautiful that you can play with people all over the world. And I don't know, sometimes when I think about how maybe our country and every damn thing else is going, man, they're really trying to restrict that, man. And to be honest with you, that's what's wrong with things. No. You don't need to be divided, because you know what? The one thing I can say, I'm not trying to upset anybody, but the one thing I can say, we only have one fucking world, so I don't know where the fuck everybody thinks they're going after this point. It's one world, you understand? There's no purpose in all this craziness and fighting and destruction, you know? Because all that's about is just greed and shit like that. That's actually all it's really about. It's greed. It ain't about nothing else. So like the idea of like, they talk about like capitalism. I'm not against capitalism. Capitalism can be very good. So I think our downfall here in America is like, how the fuck are you gonna have capitalism, man, when all your fucking companies are no longer in your own damn country? Ridiculous. And the thing is, capitalism in our country would work a hell of a lot better if all of our companies never left our country. So that, you know, people are making money, and then have money, sure. Don't mind on the business ventures of capitalism to make more money. But the thing is, I feel like at one point in this country, we were holding on to the Industrial Revolution. We were holding on all of it. And that was the most prosperous point in American history there. I'm like, shit, why the hell would we give that up? It's a bad move. But that wasn't the people's decision. That was the greedy motherfuckers at the top's decision. But you can see the point here. Even if you had jobs out there, somebody ain't making nothing, well, maybe, you know, I mean, they're not looking to be millionaires, but they're living comfortable. But if everybody in the country is living comfortable, shit, capitalism can prosper like a motherfucker. Even better than what the hell they can do. But if you put it on the aspect that, you know, well, only the few want to hold on to all of it, well, see, then, when it turns into the few want to hold on to all of it, then that's no longer about capitalism at all. That's not a business. That ain't even about money, people. That's about power and control. It strayed way away from what the fuck capitalism is actually about, and having a well-balanced society, you know, good economic falling everyone versus power and fucking control. See, that's the thing that's changed and people don't understand. It's not when it turns into the idea, or even if you watch some of these podcasts or any of these shows, when it turns into the idea of, well, this is capitalism. No. When it turns into only the few want to control everything, that's no longer about capitalism. That's about fucking power and control. That's way past what capitalism is supposed to stand for. No, that's called I want to be fucking God, and I want to control everything, and I want to fucking decide how society will live from this point on. Which, in the aspect, when you think about the history, that shit has gone on throughout human history. And the thing about that, once it turns into fucking power and I want to fucking control things, that shit has always fallen. It doesn't work. Hell, if it worked, motherfucker, we'd still be Rome. The Roman Empire would still be ruling this bitch, but it didn't. It didn't work. Because it doesn't. It's a failing system. When it steps away from keeping it down to the simple, to just getting absolutely fucking complex, that's when it turns into shit. Well, that's what they're not telling you. Enough of that. The thing about this game is this. Now, once you see, I'm trying to level them up to 21, where you see my bar down there. I'm gonna go run around and what do you think about this area here? Probably gonna go run around down here. This isn't a bad area to sit here and build up. But I think what's different about gaming on the internet, which makes it so nice, is that, man, you can game with people all over the world, man. Most of the countries that are allowed to happen. And that's not a bad thing. But see, then, even like when China's aspect, because people are complaining that, well, they're not on Facebook, they're not linked with the rest of the world. Yeah, well, there's a purpose of why that is. And that goes back to control and power. That's why that shit is. If you sit here, but you also look at the bigger stat or picture of it all. If you're gaming, I'll give you an example. I was playing the Division 2. I think it was the first time. And I was playing with some cats that were coming out of France. Because they were speaking English and France and things like that. And it was alright. You don't mind that we're talking French, do you, at times? Stuff's no problem with that, man. As long as whatever we're doing, if we're trying to accomplish a mission, well, I gotta know where y'all guys want to go, so I'll know where I got to do where I need to be at. And it worked out just fine. And after a while, I mean, it really turned into straight up English when I was talking to these guys, and they were talking to me and stuff like that. But a lot of guys, they don't like that. Who gives a shit, man? Listen, you can't question people's languages, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Just because you don't understand it, well, ask a question or two. Shit, you could be surprised. You might actually learn something. That was all good. I think what we fail to realize is we are a diverse world. Can't afford to be closed-minded all the time. shrine closed, you're gonna miss things. You may miss lots of opportunities. Hey. Start to think in this world, we can all spend more time on getting along than just fucking destroying shit. We'd be better off. We always fuck authorized. The end result is, what the fuck are you doing? Your family? Your people? Someone else's? Resurrect right by the soul flame. Yeah, I got a little bit overzealous there, sorry. That was another thing I noticed, like, let's say you have your armor stats are like more B class and things like that. You start messing around, you get a lot more B class armor stuff to fall for you. But as I said, if I'm still learning, no aspect of telling you I'm an expert. So if you're playing this game, you're watching me grow, just like you're growing into it. This is all it's about. Ah! So what I'm doing really out here is like find spots out here since you unlocked some of this world. You can go back to some of these spots, man, you know, just kick some ass, pick up some health, pick up some experience. That's pretty much what I'm doing right now. Defeat jungle anacondas. Sat here long enough, we need to kill some snakes. See you, Ashley Lynn. See, my aspect in this game is this, people. You definitely want to find spots where you can rest. You know what? There's a lot of other aspects of this game that reminds you of playing something like Dragon Age. Same concept. Make some unwise decisions, man. You can lose a lot of health. Kill it. Back in some of the aspects, you got a lot of looks from it too. Armor. So use this one. Color your armor. Leather. A lot of options. Shit for a while. I don't know. I'm between using the gladiator, shoulder shield, versus the veteran here.
You won't be disappointed in what I have to offer.
Can I help you? Take your time. Have a look around.
Stock up! You can never be too prepared. Why just buy one item when you can buy two?
See anything you like?
Are you ready to make a purchase?
Skills.
I feel fortune is in my favor today. How are you?
Take your time. Have a look around.
Things that you want to hear. Crafting things you can pick up a shitload. The truth is, you only gonna need 50 at a time. I don't need this. We got like up silver, spot that mushrooms, which are starting potions, which are tough meat. Something else I can use. Sometimes if you're lucky. I think for about a day or two, I should keep some of the stuff that you sold. Buy some of that back. You can actually use some of this as your storage area. Play it on a day-to-day basis and stuff. Go back to some of those areas. Vendors. You pick up things. Speaking for a second. I think one thing I look for in MMOs is this. I look for, can you do a whole lot of stuff with just in-game currency versus having it come out of pocket. Now, I'm not crashing any of these games, man, that, you know, if they offer you a lot for in-game currency, that's good. And really, if you like the game and it's good to you and you enjoy playing it with others and everything, well, you don't have a problem splurging $20 here, maybe 10 there, 9 or whatever. In my aspect, in some of these games, like, you probably can make more money off of really rolling it as free to play. If your product that you put on the market is that damn good, then they'll tell their friends and tell their another friend will tell another friend and tell many, and they'll all jump on board and start downloading it. The product's that good and everybody's enjoying it, they're gonna splurge some money into it. Now you put it this way. Let's look at a really basic aspect of this. Let's say we got 326 million people in America. We have, I don't know, if you worldwide spectrum of number, which I can understand why China being a closed market is rich, because men you tap into that. Now imagine We're gonna use America as an example. So we have 326 million. Let's cut that in half to go into an average of maybe 150 million people like the game online. Right? Now let's put it this way. If you put your product out there as free to play, and it's that damn good, and you keep updating things and making it even better, people start getting involved. Alright, you already caught your audience. Right? Now then you take a look at it this way. Let's say out of those 150 million people out there, you have 80 million people playing on your game. Even if you made it free to play. Now, out of that, let's take a look at it. Let's say they're playing it, they're really enjoying it, and it's really that damn good. And let's say you take $20 in the aspect from 80 million people. Think about how much money you just made doing that. Because then you're going to take 80 million people and multiply that by 20 bucks. Man, you're looking at a couple $100 million. You're doing good. Let's see, if we're doing it this way, let's say you have 80 million who actually enjoy playing your game. You multiply that by $20. You're looking at a $1 billion spread. Now, if that ain't good profit, I don't know what is. And even after you paid your designers and your people, paid your company fees and shit, you're still holding on a good $600 or $700 million. Tell me how that's gonna win.
Step right up and take a gander at what I've got to offer.
Would you like to see what I have in stock?
I tell you, the thing that actually gets video game software engineers and everything in trouble is to build a product that's something like something else. And in this market, I think that's the downfall. Fuck building something like everybody else. You make something that's unique for what you want it to do. You don't make it unique for comparison to somebody else. You're doing it on a comparison to something else when you're bound for failure. I'll give you a prime example of that. There's this game with Battleborn. Battleborn's more the MMO aspect, and what happened with that game and why it's shutting down after all this time, I never was really particular on it, is this. The CEO of that company jumps up and tells people that it's going to be better than Overwatch. Well, the problem was that you wanted to compare it to Overwatch. You should have never did that. You should have made it unique for what you had to offer. Not in comparison to Overwatch. Overwatch is a whole different type of game to be playing, man. Well, that was the thing.
Catch your fancy?
That was the downfall. You don't have to be Overwatch to be
Always aim
good.
to meet my customers' needs.
You have to be what you're offering. That's better. But you gotta roll your product out for what you're offering to play. That was the downside to Battleborn. You're trying to compare it to Overwatch. Should've never did that. Right? It's just like when people want to play Borderlands. You want to play Borderlands. They're not looking to compare it to something else. Playing Borderlands because that's what the hell they want to play. And you go on past the comparison, well, you're asking for trouble. There's so many things that are so unnecessary in marketing. It just makes absolutely no sense where they came up with some of these conclusions. They should have never went that way. Should have known better, but there's your thing, man. They should've. Should've, would've, could've. But didn't. I think when you're gonna create something, you need to stick to what you're trying to sell. You need to stick to the product you're selling. I mean, let's put it this way. A prime example. The product you're selling. Let's say your company that likes to build modified engines. Alright, that's simple enough. Now, if that's where you're going with it, that's what you want to do. Well, if you're building a modified piston-powered engine, it wouldn't make no sense for you to sit here and throw a jet turbine into the mix with it. 'Cause that's not what you're trying to sell, is it? So you gotta think about what you're marketing. If you're marketing something other than, then you may lose your market base.
The gods will see us through.
Is there anything I can assist you with?
Bag pieces, people. Remember, it's the bag pieces. Always important. Yeah, I don't recommend jumping off the cliff. It can hurt you. But I just wanted to pick up that bag there, you know, that treasure box that they hadn't hit yet, so it ain't no big deal to me. I think that what I could say about this game is a reminder, this is where Dragon Age could have been a long time ago. Just a massive open world MMO. You sit here and you can go places and do stuff. Build everything up to this point. Yep, sometimes you get killed. but made no mistake about this game. There's gonna be a lot of trial and error. So, as I said, I'm learning. If you're getting into it, you're learning too.
There's a lesson here. I just know it.
A little hard work never hurt anyone.
Buy now, so you don't have to buy again later. If you're looking to make a purchase, you've come to the right place.
What is it?
Most interesting.
like this if you make these meals Miles are using.
Never thought it would come to this.
I don't have time for idle chatter. I'm on duty now. Seen any combat lately?